Guys, I wanted to take a minute and show you some of the new features that we're going into the slides in ProPresenter for elementary tech, as well as just go over the tech environment within ProPresenter for you very briefly. The first thing I wanted to show you is this new automated 30-minute countdown timer. And what it does is, using the ProPresenter scheduler feature, it's going to, at 9 o'clock and at 10:45, automatically start this slide. Over here on the left-hand side, you'll see what's displayed up on the projectors, and that's going to say service starts in, and it's going to count down from 30 minutes to 10. Once it gets to 10 minutes, it'll be 9:10, and it will automatically forward to the next slide, which is free play, and it'll have a 10-minute timer. So the first timer will say countdown to service start. The second one will pick up with free play, and to let the small group leaders know that free play lasts for 10 minutes. All the other slides in ProPresenter moving forward from there would be manually clicked. So they still need to be clicked at the appropriate times. So the plug-in time slide needs to get clicked at 9:20 and 11:05. The small group opener at 9:30 and 11:15. And notice next to these it'll say church clap, air horn, and this is to let the tech know that these are going to make sound effects. Should those sound effects need to be adjusted, do that using this purple volume button here in ProPresenter. Once the volume is set on all the audiovisual equipment in the kids environment, you really only want to adjust. You only want content coming out of ProPresenter, and you want to adjust it using ProPresenter. So we want to steer away from using products like Spotify or YouTube. We need to get that stuff in here ahead of time so it can be tested, make sure it sounds right, and then if we need to adjust the volume, we would do it here in ProPresenter. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on the plug-in time slide. I'll start church clap. Church clap's now playing. The kids are going to start doing what they need to do. Go ahead and click on the volume if you need to so you can lower it. And then once the kids are all seated and doing the right thing, you can go ahead and click on the clear audio button, which will go ahead and fade that song out. Once the song's faded out, you would go ahead and you would turn the volume back up to the level that you wanted it to be at for the next slide, which is going to be small group opener. The small group opener is going to have the air horn sound effect. It's going to play, and you know what? Thanks, Matt, for that air horn. I love it. And once that's there, that lets them know that it's switching over to the other event. Small group opener displays in the bottom. You have a 10-minute countdown timer. Once service starts, the large group leader is ready to come up on stage at 9:40, and you go ahead and you click on the Get This Party slide. Get This Party Started will play, just like before.
Oh, yeah.
You go ahead and you lower the volume as needed once the initial beat starts, and then once the kids have done what they're supposed to do, you hit the clear audio button, or the F5 key will also clear the audio using that button right there, clear audio. Then you go through when you're cued to by the large group leader. Some weeks are going to have activities. This activity here is just a 60-second countdown timer. Again, we're not going to use YouTube or other things. We're just going to have timers that are in here ahead of time and just pre-packaged and ready to go. When I click on this, we're trying to pick things that are that'll grab that fifth grader's attention, have some upbeat music, and have a buzzer or a countdown timer effect for that game. Once it's over, it'll buzz and it'll automatically go to the next slide here. That's the same with the worship songs. You guys know how those work. Worship songs are going to do the same thing. The only caveat is if you need to adjust the volume, again, we just ask that you adjust it here. Crank that puppy up or turn it down. And this is just so that we avoid the potential for interrupting large service. We're going to continue to work with them just so that we can maximize the sound in elementary while, again, running that, trying to mitigate that risk of interrupting service. Down here we have, after the worship songs, we have the kids blank slide that comes on before the worship story. We have the worship story, which will automatically go into the bottom line. Occasionally the scripts have called for us to put the theme back up after the bottom line, so sometimes we have it in here and sometimes we don't. Sometimes the large group leader will call for it, sometimes they won't. And down here really quickly, I just wanted to talk about the greater campaign slides. So once a month, we're going to go over the greater campaign. You're going to click on the blank slide first, and they're going to build up how much money the kids have raised within the greater campaign, which is amazingly impressive, by the way. And once they do that, you just click on the appropriate number of greater guys. I think it's $100 for every grader guide that's used. I will double check on that, but and then you know if it's this many guys, then you go ahead and you click on this one here. Down here at the bottom of that, you'll have two more slides. That's for small group and small group closer. Clicking on the small group at 10:10 or 11:55 will go ahead and it'll start. Here we found a bug. It's supposed to start a 15-minute timer, and it didn't clear the timer, so I'll go ahead and I'll fix that and get that ready for you guys this weekend. And then once that's done, you're going to go to small group closer. It's going to play the air horn. Thanks again, Matt. And this last one, since there's no countdown, it just goes on forever. There's just a clock, so it just lets you know what time it is. And that clock will increment every minute, and you guys will just be able to look up there instead of at your watches, and everybody will be happy. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out by emailing Ashley Stegman at stegs.coordinator@gmail.com and copying me at either robmcginnis@gmail.com or mosaickidstech@gmail.com. Thank you so much for your service, guys, and I'll see you this weekend. Take care.